Suits is a standout episode in the seminal series Love, Death and Robots that, whilst pretty straightforward on the surface, actually has a lot to unpack from it. The episode is filled to the brim with Easter eggs, pop culture references and more, so throughout this video I thought I'd break down everything that you need to know about Suits and its ending. This is full spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen the episode, then I highly recommend that you turn off now. With that out the way, I'm Definition and welcome to the channel where I explain it so you don't have to. Suits follows a community of farmers that are seemingly under attack from aliens or extra-dimensional beings that, on the surface, have similarities to the creatures from Secret Wars. The episode opens on husband and wife Hank and Beth, who, after being alerted to a breach in their property line, spring into action to take down whatever threat may come through it. What I love about Suits is that it initially begins pretty straightforward, and I imagine that a lot of rural Americans will find this opening quite relatable until it gets a bit more sci-fi as Hank suits up and approaches the breach to investigate it. There are clear references to the film Aliens in not only the creature design, but also in the fact that autocannons are used in a scene, which of course pulls from that film, and Beth appears similar to Vasquez, who was one of the movie's biggest badasses. Personally, and I may be reaching with this, I also think that Hank's neighbour, Jake, looks quite similar to John Krasinski's character Jim Halpert from The Office. Krasinski of course starred in A Quiet Place, which too centres around a farm-based family having to deal with an alien invasion. Jake's mech is also named Carnivore, which itself may be a reference to the first episode from Love, Death and Robots, Sonny's Edge, in which Sonny's beast is called Carnivore. Anyway, back to the plot. After clearing out the initial breach, the families are alerted to several more breaches, which slowly allows countless amount of creatures, also known as DVs, to storm in. With help from neighbouring farms, Hank attempts to hold the line whilst the families that live in the area retreat to bunkers. There's some amazing action scenes that feel like they could be part of their own standalone video game, and there's never been a better reason for why we need a mech shooter. It's pretty clear that the forces are overwhelmed, and whilst Hank orders Jake to retreat to the bunkers, he instead storms ahead and, after being heavily battle damaged, sacrifices himself in order to clear the field. Whilst this manages to kill the majority of the creatures, a giant one that looks like it was pulled straight out of Starship Troopers climbs through the breach and begins approaching the farm. With help from Beth and his ally Mel, Hank is able to take the beast out, and the group are given a moment of respite as they reflect on the events. It's at this moment that we get the big twist of the episode, which is when the camera pans out and we realise that we're not actually on Earth. The humans are the alien invaders, and this is in fact the creature's planet. It appears that the humans are actually terraforming the planet and using it for resources, which would lead me to believe that Earth is probably depleted of its own materials due to humans mining the planet dry. Obviously, no one would want to be put in a position where they are forced to live on a planet like this, so it's pretty safe to say that humanity must be very desperate. No doubt the inhabitants of the planet view us as a plague, which is why they seem to be constantly attacking and swarming the pockets that the humans inhabit. It's a great little twist that completely caught me off guard, and I kinda think that the producers may be sort of hinting towards an Iraq war metaphor for when the West went over to the Middle East and started taking all their oil. I don't want to get too political though, as it's a really fun episode and that kind of bogs it down a bit. Overall, it's a twist that cements the episode as one of my favourites from the run, and I definitely recommend that you check it out if you haven't already. Obviously, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Suits and if you noticed anything that I missed. If you enjoyed this video, then please like it and make sure you check out my full breakdown of Beyond the Aquila Rift, which will be linked at the end. This is a channel for people who are never missing television, so if that's the kind of thing you like, you need to subscribe to Definition. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.